gain access to health care for the chronically ill, mentally ill, and aged is more complicated than any teen like you and me could possibly understand. Healthcare has its loopholes, healthcare is expensive, and healthcare is not provided for anyone who is in severe poverty. As an adult, you have to make your own decisions. This includes choosing your own healthcare provider, the healthcare that gives you the best healthcare and the healthcare insurance that fits your budget the best. But let's say you are an adult with children. You now have little human beings. The whole game plan changes for you. You are no longer thinking about yourself. You are thinking about you and your family. So now you're searching for the insurance that suits you and your family best. But sadly, we live in Texas. And Texas, for the second year in a row, has the most uninsured people out of all 50 states. Well, why is that? Maybe Texas insurance is too expensive for the average Texans to afford. Or maybe it's because Texas government is taking thousands of kids per year off of Medicaid. Now there's two different types of federal funded insurance. Medicaid and Medicare. Medicaid is provided for the younger group, typically under 60 years old with low income, but you must have income. And Medicare is offered for the older group over 60. There are millions of things wrong with taking thousands of children, eligible children at that, off of Medicaid. Let's start with the fact that now they have no insurance, or the fact that Texas does not tell the parents that their child is off of Medicaid until they go up for a yearly checkup and they go to the hospital for care and they're not able to afford care. Imagine yourself in this situation and how hurt the parents are that they aren't wealthy enough to take care of their child. Healthcare does not just include hospital visits. What about the chronically ill or the mentally ill? Let's say you're sending your child to a therapist and Medicaid is paying for this therapist. Then all of a sudden, you have no insurance, you have no way to pay for your child's therapy. Let's say your child suffers from depression and you tried everything, but the only way your child is getting better is going to a therapist. And now there's nothing you can do. You can't afford the therapy. Mentally ill patients in today's time are given the care that they are needed. But what about in the 1800s? Mentally ill patients were looked down upon and thrown into prison because they were different. It wasn't until one woman named Dorothea Dix, she visited a prison and noted that there were mentally ill patients in this prison. These mentally ill patients were being abused. They were being sexually harassed. They were being mistreated for something that they cannot control. So what does Dorothea Dix do? She documents everything that she has seen. The torture, the mistreatment, everything that you can possibly think of that is being done to these poor defenseless people. And she changes it. Dorothea Dix is the reason why we have mental ill hospitals. She's the reason why people of the mentally ill are treated equally now, or treated just as any other person, deserves to be treated. One of the many outcomes from Dorothea Dix. MHA stands for Mental Health America. MHA gives mentally ill patients education, service, and treatment. Without this, where would we be now? Our loved ones that are poorly defenseless will be stuck in prisons and mistreated for something that they cannot control. So what is the government doing now? Not Texas government, the government as a whole. Well, we have Obamacare now, which was established in 2014. Obamacare gives American citizens access to health care for a cheap price. But it has its loopholes, like all healthcare access has its loopholes. It gives you free drugs, but it comes back on you because taxes are higher because of these free drugs that they're just handing out. Obamacare has helped over 15 million Americans, but is 15 million enough? We live in a country where they have hundreds of millions of people that are insured and some aren't insured. But to give you a comparison of how the United States is giving us the short hand of the stick, Finland. Finland is known as a happy country, a great country at that. Finland has universal health care. What is universal health care? No American has heard of that because we live in America. Universal health care gives all of your citizens free health care access. That means that they pay for all your hospital bills, all your dental clinics, for your teeth and everything. But why don't the U.S. have that? The U.S. runs off of money, basically, if you have not realized now. So basically the U.S. could care less if their citizens die because they don't have health care. They just want your money. But in Finland has a low rate of homeless people, little to none homeless people. And even if they did, the homeless people choose to be homeless and they still get free health care. While in Texas, homeless people receive no health care. This is a perfect example of how messed up the U.S. system is regards to health care. But another great example that calls out the America as a whole is Grey's Anatomy, season 15, episode 24 and 25, where as a little girl, an immigrant from Mexico, has crossed the border with her father. Her and her parents had got separated at the border, and they stayed there waiting for their citizenship to get, notified, in hopes to bring in their family back over across the border. But the little girl falls majorly ill and has an abscess in her stomach that needs to be surgically removed. But she has no insurance because she is not American. The hospital has every single right to deny care. She has no way to pay for it. But Dr. Grey, which is one of the main characters in the show, gives her son's insurance. She gives it to him. Well, this is illegal because false impersonation, like you're impersonating someone, like that's false identification, and you're using it for an immigrant. She committed fraud and she is taken to jail for it. in the eyes of the law, even if it's for a good cause, it's bad. What is the solution for gaining adequate access to healthcare for the chronically ill, the mentally ill, and the aged? Well, the simple answer is making the country a universal healthcare system country. Maybe it's making insurance cheaper than it already is, affordable for anyone and everyone. Maybe it's coming together to help one another. A universal healthcare system would greatly benefit everyone. Death toll will shorten. I mean, not shorten, but decrease. um, People won't have to worry about whether to go to the hospital or not.